name's John Chapman. Now in this video podcast we're going to look at how we can demonstrate the link between our software features and improving the governance and compliance that we need to have in place to show that we have got strong, robust controls for the processes for spend control. We're going to use an approach that the Cranfield School of Management have developed, which identifies the link between our facilities and technology and our investment objectives. So on the left hand side, what we're able to see is the facilities and technologies that we're going to implement. From this we should get enabling changes. Now in a software project, these are the features of the software that will be used by the end users in their day-to-day work. That should lead to business changes. So if we know what the features are and the way those features will work with the processes, it leads to business changes which ultimately should feed through to our business benefits. And business benefits are there to support our investment objective. So on the left hand side we have facilities and technology. We go through the enabling changes, we look at what the business changes are, and that should then lead to business benefits that feed through to our investment objectives. So we've looked at the theory. Now let's go through a worked example. And as was said earlier, this relates to governance and compliance. So we have our spend control solution on the left hand side. This is our facilities and technology. And from this we have three enabling features: the authorization hierarchies, the approved supplier list, and the goods receipt note entry. Now the authorization hierarchies then lead through to the business benefit. So that enables us to show that purchase orders must be authorized by the appropriate person. So all purchases are raised through a purchase order, and then it goes through the hierarchy before the purchase order is issued to the supplier. By mandating purchase orders, perhaps over a particular value, let's say £100, then we can see that that approval hierarchy must be met, and we're going to make sure that individuals who raise purchase orders get them signed off. The next area then is the use of approved suppliers. Now if you have a supplier list in your spend control solution and the only way you can make a purchase is by getting a purchase order out of the system, then it must be, by default, with an approved supplier. The suppliers will have met with your compliance policy, perhaps they have to have health and safety checks, perhaps they have to have particular skills. The last one is around service receipting. So we've raised our purchase order, we then electronically receipt when we receive the goods or services, and this ensures that we are only going to pay for what we've received, and that comes through to our invoicing. So on our business benefit, the first one is that we can demonstrate that delegation authority is enforced. The second one is that we're compliant with our supplier sourcing policy. We're not just using anyone that we could find in the telephone book. And the third one is that when invoices are entered in, they must match the purchase order and they must match what was receipted. Now this is very important because we're not then going to pay for goods and services that previously may not have been proved to have been received by the organisation. That ultimately leads through to our investment objective, which is governance and compliance. So on the left hand side we have our three features. We've identified that we've got 4 business changes. That leads us through to 3 business benefits to deliver ultimately improved compliance with our governance policy for the organisation. So what does this mean to the great and the good? Well, we need to understand how the business changes affect the different parts of the organisation when we deliver our project. Now at the top we have the directors and the senior managers, and what they buy is the return on investment. The next group are department heads and business function managers. They buy the solution to the problem. And the third one is our users, and they look at features and benefits. So at the top, the return on investment relates to cost saving, revenue improvement, or perhaps meeting legal requirements. The second is about improving business processes, for taking the pain away from the day-to-day management work. And the third one is perhaps around improving morale. The features and benefits that we deliver up to our end users many times are based on just the functionality of the software. So if we can make their life easier, then that should be of benefit to them. So we look at these three areas, and by going back to our previous chart, we can say this is what it means to you when we deliver our project. My name's John Chapman. I hope you've enjoyed this video podcast. Please give us a call. We look forward to speaking with you soon.